And I've been killing. Yeah.
Rest in peace!
Hello people, how you guys doing? Little Guy G here and welcome back to another build for Payday 2. And in this build you saw last week I did the Rick Grimes build. This is more of a themed build for like The Walking Dead. It did really well. You guys really enjoyed it and suggested me. This time, I freaking knew it. It was going to be him. Obviously, Daryl Dixon, the crossbow-wielding badass. Probably the most badass character on the show, besides people like Rick and Michonne. And Negan, actually. But yeah, this is one of the more badass characters in the TV show. He wields a crossbow, for those who don't watch the show. His secondary doesn't really matter too much. You can use any secondary, really. But the main focus is the crossbow. But yeah, just little facts about Daryl anyway. He's a tough as nails character. He doesn't go down without a fight. And when he's surrounded in certain situations, he can handle it. He can get out of it and he can fight his way out. So that's pretty much all you need to know about Daryl. And he's a survivor as well. He can last for a very, very long time. Hence the selection of perk decks and skills and stuff that I've chosen. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the build. Okay guys, so moving on to the primary weapon, of course, it's going to be, actually, you have two variations. You obviously have to use a crossbow, but there are two variations that come with the chivalry pack, guys. There is the light crossbow, and there is the heavy crossbow. Now, I do demonstrations with both crossbow, and when I do my description of the build in the gameplay section of the video later on, I'll tell you which one I prefer and which one would be suitable for certain situations. So I kind of describe the best of both worlds. So I'm not really picking a favorite, to be honest here, guys, but they're both really good, light and heavy crossbow. So yeah, that's Daryl's primary weapon of choice. Secondary weapon is a bit complicated though. You can use a shotgun. You can use a pistol. Daryl's pretty much used anything in the show, to be honest with you. He hasn't really used much, but someone in the comments did comment, I think I left it in the video at the beginning, to do crossbow only. So if you want, you could either just have another pistol crossbow as your secondary, or even have, there's also a really cool scene on Herschel's farm where Daryl uses a shotgun, and, you know, Daryl used a lot of shotguns, besides, it's probably his like most used primary weapon besides crossbows. I mean, he's used M16s and stuff and AKs as well, but not as much as shotguns. So yep, shotgun's a good choice as well for a secondary weapon. Or you could just go with crossbows only, like I actually did for some heists, and go just go crossbow only, go crazy, guys. And yeah, we're gonna move on to the melee weapon now. So the melee weapon is going to be just a normal Troutman knife, or like a military style knife. Daryl Dixon is really up close and personal. He's used pretty much anything. So to be honest with you guys, just use any melee weapon you want. But for this video, I decided to use a just any random knife. And this knife looked the coolest. It's like a US military knife. Kind of fits Daryl very well. So yeah, that's it for the melee weapon. Now we're going to get onto the skills, guys, and I'm going to talk about the skills and the perk decks. Alrighty then, looks like we are getting into the skills, guys. So for the skills, this kind of revolves around Daryl's characteristics. So if you think about him, in certain situations, he's not like Rick. For those who've seen my last Rick video, you'll see that the controller was filled up nearly all the way, actually, for like Partners in Crime and Joker. I've only gone with Confident because Daryl does intimidate a lot in the show. He's very intimidating, just like Rick. But he isn't the kind of guy like Rick to kind of force him to be on their side and to help each other out. He's kind of more for himself, and he's kind of like, he's more suspicious around people, you know, who he helps. He helps people, but he goes on his own way. So that's kind of what Daryl's like. And I think that having just confidence, is more of Daryl's playstyle. So, Either way, we're going to go to Enforcer. Now, this is where it gets kind of tricky. So, these shotgun skills don't always apply. So, keep this in mind. These shotgun skills are for only when you're using the shotgun that I explained in the beginning. That I explained in the commentary, where it doesn't really matter what he uses. But in the farm scene at Hershel's farm, where they're killing the walkers coming out of the farm, he does use that pump action shotgun. And that's kind of... not iconic to Daryl, but it's the one I remember the most him using in terms of a weapon besides the crossbow. He's used pistols, he's even used that RPG, the rocket launcher, but like I said, he only used it once, so it's not really worth counting that. So yeah, shotgun CQB and shotgun impact. Underdog's quite important as well, because when he's surrounded by, like, let's say he's surrounded by walkers, he can get out of there really quickly. He can take out a few as well. He's pretty good in certain situations when he's surrounded by them. Yeah, that pretty much sums that up. I've gone into some perks into tank, or some skills into tank. Sorry, like resilience, even die hard, bullseye. Once again, so then I can regen my armor. It goes well on my perk deck, which I'll explain in a bit. Iron Man as well, just so it increases my total armor value. Just so then we have a bit more strength on Daryl, because Daryl's quite a tough guy. You know, he needs that extra strength in able to survive. So that pretty much sums up this whole tank tree here. Ammo specialist, I've just gone with all the way up to fully loaded, just so then I have more crossbow bolts to handle with. I mean, in the show he doesn't have many to work with, because obviously it's an apocalypse and all that. But I think that if this was a video game term, I think they're fully loaded, and because you'd run out of crossbow bolts a lot quicker, fully loaded will help you out a lot to keep that supply of crossbow bolts, you know, keep them coming. So yeah, fully loaded is a good choice, I feel. And on to Ghost. We just have some movement skills here for Artful Dodger. You know, because Daryl, a bit like Rick, he's quick on his feet, and you know, he can get from place to place quite quickly. Second Wind, when your armor breaks, your movement speed is increased by 30%. That's just so then I can get out of there, get into cover, and regen my armor. And the Fugitive, this is where things get interesting. So I have 9 Lives, Up You Go, Feigned Death, and Swan Song. Now, Swan Song is so the reason I picked Swan Song is because Daryl, when if he was to go down, he wouldn't go down without a fight. So he would definitely fight his way out of it. Even if he's getting, you know, blown from different locations, riddled with bullets, he would just keep firing back and he wouldn't give up. So that's kind of what Daryl's like. Feigned Death as well. When you go down, you have a 15% chance to get instantly revived. If you ace it as well, you can actually increase it to an additional 30%. So, like I said about the shotgun skills, if you were to take the shotgun skills off like this and whack them into Feigned Death, and there you go, you have ace Feigned Death. And also, Pistol Messiah is quite a good choice to go for as well, or Messiah anyway. It was called Pistol Messiah, but they changed it to Messiah, and you can use any weapon to kill an enemy, and you can get instantly up. It kind of reminds me of the episode in, I think it's called Chapakra, I can't pronounce it properly. But it's in season 2 when Daryl is looking for Sophia, and he's badly injured because one of his own crossbow bolts goes into his stomach, and you see the walker come across to him. He has to pull it out of his stomach and load the crossbow bolt whilst he's injured, and then shoot at the walker. So badass scene, really badass scene. One of the more iconic scenes from Daryl as well. In The Walking Dead. And that's what I kind of imagine him with Messiah. You know, he's getting the extra kill before he gets back up, and also Feigned Death. You know, so then he can have that, because Daryl has the strength to, if he does go down, then he will have that motivation to get back up, and he will definitely keep fighting. And Up You Go, it's just so then you take 30% less damage for 10 seconds after being revived. Gives you a bit of time to get out of there, regen my health, regen my armor, and not get hurt as easily when I get back up. And last but not least, we have Brawler. So I have Martial Arts, Bloodthirst, Pumping Iron. I've explained these in the last video, but I'll explain Bloodthirst again because it's the more important one. Every kill you get will increase your next melee attack damage by up to 100%. So what that means is if I get 3 kills, so if I get 1 kill, that's 100% on my melee damage from my next melee kill. 2 kills, 200%, 3 kills, 300%, and that's the maximum. And then when I use a melee attack, it deals 300 times more damage, so really, really useful. And then counter strike is then when charging your melee weapon, you will counter attack enemies that try to strike you down. So this is pretty good as well. So if you run up to them with your knife out, if they try to hit you, it just gets knocked back. They can't do anything about it. It just gets knocked back, which is really, really cool. And we're going to move on to the perk deck now. The perk deck is, I chose ex-president because thinking about Daryl's characteristics, he would more likely, because he's good at surviving in a like close quarter situations. He's good at surviving for a very long time, and when you're using ex-president, you can survive for such a long time in Payday 2. Like, you don't go down as often, except if it was for cloakers. Like, I had my run of the luck in this gameplay. But also you could go with Grinder as well. Grinder's a really good option, but it wouldn't really make use of Bullseye, which obviously ex-president kind of ties into armor, and Bullseye is a really good skill for that as well, hence why I went for ex-president. Also you could go for Muscle, but yet again I think that the best option to go for, in my opinion, would be ex-president, especially for Daryl Dixon. So yeah, that is going to be the build, guys, pretty much. And also for throwables, I'm for the throwing axes because they look pretty badass. He has used throwing knives in the show before, I believe once or twice. But yeah, definitely, I think these throwing axes are much more appropriate for Daryl. And that is going to do with the build. I know it's Ron Perlman, okay, I can hear you shouting at me, but Daryl's more of a biker dude. It kind of looks a, you know, Daryl kind of would wear this jacket and all that jazz. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the build. I'm going to skip to the gameplay now, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy the gameplay and the little commentary with it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the gameplay. Okie dokie, guys, so you're seeing here day 1 of Hoxton Breakout. I started off with doing Hoxton Breakout with the pistol and the pistol crossbow as well. Just to demonstrate how the pistol crossbow is, how I use it more as a stun maneuverability thing than I did for doing a major amount of damage. There was some times where I had to just quickly spam with the, you know, because it has explosive bolts, so it's used for stunning. For example, I have a good example in a bit where I stun a dozer, and then I use my crossbow and then my axes to finish him off. Like, that's kind of what I use the pistol crossbow for. So out of using a crossbow and a pistol, I'm using a pistol crossbow and a shotgun, I find personally that the pistol crossbow is a lot more useful, simply because I mean, the shotgun can kill a lot of people, but so can the crossbow. Like, if you have a good aim with the crossbow, you can do the same amount of killing than you could with a shotgun. So a shotgun's not really necessary as a sanctuary weapon. I think having something like a pistol crossbow would do a lot more help for your team, especially if your other teammates have guns. Like in this situation, all my teammates have guns, and there's a dozer, or if there's the captain or something, I could just use my explosive crossbow to just spam them, and just spam and stun them, and yeah, do a bunch of explosive damage. I do show in a bit some heavy crossbow gameplay. I'm going to talk about both of the crossbows actually, because they're the most important part of the build. So the light crossbow, it reloads faster, does less damage though than the heavy crossbow, but still I think it's a good viable option, especially with it's a melee, that melee skill. It's gone out of my head, I apologize. Because of the skills I have on my melee class, whenever I get a kill with my knife and my melee weapon, I have more reload speed, so that helps a lot. For example, because it combines with Bloodthirst as well. So if I was to kill 3 people with my crossbow, then because that stacks up to 300% more damage, I would knife another cop, and then the next 2 reloads I have are a lot quicker. So it helps a lot. It really does help a lot, and it helps stack with your other skills too. And with the light crossbow being so quick at reloading, it's even more useful because you can just kill more cops. But it's the same with the heavy crossbow as well. Like, with the heavy crossbow, yeah, the reload time is a lot more slower than the light crossbow. But if you have that reload speed skill, and you use it efficiently with Bloodthirst, you know, using your melee weapon as well, you can really do a lot of damage, and you can really kill a lot more cops than usual. And it's good. It's really good. And like I said before, I can't really pick a favorite between the light crossbow and the heavy crossbow. It's just whatever you prefer using, to be honest with you. I quite enjoy both, and I can't really decide which one to use. If you guys prefer a favorite crossbow, let me know in the comments for sure, or message me or whatever. But yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and after using these a lot more, I can safely say that I can't really compare them because they both serve a different purpose. So I'm going to quickly go into the light crossbow, sorry, the heavy crossbow. It does a lot more damage than the light crossbow. It does like 400 more damage. It reloads a lot slower. But yeah, it sacrifices one thing for another. For example, you're sacrificing reload time, which is killing time, for damage. So what you could do, if you wanted to switch out the pistol crossbow for a shotgun and have the heavy crossbow, you can do that. That's a more appropriate way of swapping out your weapons and such, in terms of killing more people. Because if you have the heavy crossbow and the pistol crossbow, and obviously the heavy crossbow has a much more decreased reload time, you're not really going to get anywhere in terms of killing people if you just use those two all the time. I mean, you will, like I said, if you use Bloodthirst, if you use the melee skills, and if you use the quick reload time skills, you can really make something good out of it. But yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you did enjoy this video. I really enjoyed making it. And yeah, like I say in the other video, let me know what Walking Dead character you would like me to do next. I'll do any Walking Dead character. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and goodbye.
It's that